Hi, my name's Phil. I like talking about politics, and in this video I like to discuss a really rather odd report about Foreign Secretary James Cleverley. In a move which I don't think I've ever seen as explicit as this, he has actually made a very public appeal directly to Rishi Sunak not to demote him. And this pathetic display of desperation and weakness, really, it's not becoming of a senior member of the government, but it actually also makes his department look weak as well. But first, if you'd like to be notified of daily news and politics, please subscribe to the channel. So this is an odd one. I mean, James Cleverley, he's not a clever man. Rishi Sunak is reported to be planning a reshuffle. It's not clear when it's going to be. It could be very soon. Could be after summer. Could be tomorrow. Maybe he'll announce it tomorrow to distract from the election results. Who knows? Now, when there are reshuffles in the offing, of course, a lot of MPs, especially senior ones, start to manoeuvre a little bit. You know, some of them will be thinking, oh, can I get a promotion? Some of them will be thinking, can I at least not be demoted? Obviously, James Cleverley, he is already the joint third most senior member of the government. So promotion's not happening. So he will be nervous about the prospects of demotion. Now, at a time like this, it's not at all surprising for a worried minister to suddenly start raising their profile. They'll talk about all the good work they've done and what they still intend to do to sort of emphasise the need for continuity there. And indeed, bear in mind, James Cleverley only became Foreign Secretary in September when Liz Truss became Prime Minister. He's not even been in post for a year. It is ridiculous to keep chopping and changing ministerial positions. So, you know, what you do is you appeal to the Prime Minister by subtly hinting to others just what you've been doing and what you still intend to do. And you don't want to throw out the baby with the bathwater. So keep them where they are. But what is really unusual, if not unprecedented, is for that minister to make a very public and explicit appeal. So according to The Guardian, Cleverley was speaking in America and said that he would have to be dragged from his job with nail marks down the parquet floor. All right, then. But then he also said, if anyone in the UK, this is a quote, if anyone in the UK is listening, particularly you, Prime Minister, not particularly the Prime Minister, particularly you, Prime Minister, speaking to the Prime Minister now from America, I very much want to stay put. A direct appeal to the Prime Minister, someone with whom he can arrange a face-to-face meeting anytime he wants, he's the Foreign Secretary for goodness sake, to keep his job. Very unedifying, really, but also tragic, quite sad. I mean, ask yourself, why would he speak to the Prime Minister? Because he said to you, Prime Minister, so he's speaking directly to the Prime Minister from thousands of miles away through the medium of a Q&A at a security conference. First of all, it tells you that he is worried that he is going to be demoted. The article talks of rumours that he's earmarked for Ben Wallace's current role of Defence Secretary, to which, by the way, I would urge Sunak to definitely rethink. We could do with a genuinely competent Defence Secretary. I mean, it would be nice to have competent ministers in charge of all government departments, but can we not have a lazy cock-up merchant in charge of defence when Europe is at war? And Cleverley is very lazy. Consider his performance during the local elections. You know, not only could he not be bothered to hit the streets campaigning for his beleaguered government very often, but one time he did. He went out and he filmed a promo for a local candidate and published it. And okay, great. But you look at it, it's like he made no effort at all.
Hi, I'm here with Tony Siracusa, who is the Candor Inn. Where is it?
Cheshunt South and Theobald.
Cheshunt South and Theobald. And so, been a councillor for 12 years. Worked hard for the local community. And we are out with a team looking to get him re-elected in the council elections. Remember, if you want good services, if you want your council, one of the lowest council taxes?
Lowest in the country, at least in the Shire, is it?
Well, look, that's what you get when you get a Conservative-run council. Good services, low taxes, hard-working representatives. That's what you need.
It was painful. It was painful. And it's like, and you can still see it now. I'll post a link in the description below if you want to. Like, Cleverley didn't even delete the tweet. He published a promo video for a local Conservative candidate. He wasn't quite sure of the candidate's name. He sort of got it, but he wasn't sure. He didn't know where he was. He didn't know what the issues were. And yet he still published the video. He couldn't be bothered to halfway through go, do you know what? We can't publish this. This is no. I'm sorry, it's my fault. I think I've got it now, though. Can we start it again? That's how lazy this man is. It's bad enough that he's in cabinet, although I have to say he's probably amongst the better cabinet ministers right now, but not defence, not now. But anyway, this appeal tells us more than the fact Cleverley is worried about demotion. It also tells us that Cleverley doesn't think Sunak's listening to him. After all, why wouldn't he have this conversation behind closed doors? Because he doesn't think he can persuade Sunak to keep him as Foreign Secretary and is desperate for someone else, anyone else, to do it for him. He obviously doesn't even feel that he can drum up support amongst his cabinet colleagues. What we have here is a man who is desperate to remain in this very senior post, but thinks, or doesn't think rather, that he has enough support in cabinet to lobby Sunak on his behalf, or believes that Sunak has faith in him for the current role. But the appeal was also selfish and self-defeating, precisely because it shows that Sunak doesn't have a good relationship with his own Foreign Secretary. Also, Cleverley is demoted. Think about this. If Cleverley is demoted and he accepts the role of Defence Secretary, if that is where he's headed, it will also show that Sunak doesn't have a good relationship with his Defence Secretary at a time when the department is carrying out especially important work. And if Sunak keeps him in post, what are we to infer then? That Sunak keeps people in senior positions in government because they begged him? And because Cleverley has made it clear that there isn't that close relationship between himself and the Prime Minister, he's actually weakened his entire department. It's Cleverley's job to strengthen ties between the UK and other governments around the world. With this snivelling appeal, he has made himself look like a lame duck. Nobody can believe that he really speaks for the UK government now. It's impossible. You get the impression that if you talk to him about something and persuade him of something, he'll still have to go back to Sunak to check that it's actually okay. So what would be the point of ever talking to Cleverley about anything important if you don't believe that he has the Prime Minister's full backing or support or faith? The man really is an idiot. I've often praised him for mostly avoiding the toxic culture wars and occasionally defending good policies like people working from home. But then he keeps reminding us that this is praise set against an incredibly low bar these days. At a stroke, he's basically made it impossible for Sunak to keep him in post, if he wants the Foreign and Commonwealth Office to remain credible anyway. If I imagine myself as the Prime Minister, and let's say I'd have been happy for James Cleverley to remain as Foreign Secretary, and he's got the wrong end of the stick completely, and I'm absolutely planning on keeping him there. And then I find out he'd said this, I'd be going, right, I've got to get rid of him now. I couldn't even keep him in cabinet after this. Because what he's done is he's made himself, and by extension his department, look weak and pathetic. Mind you, it does beg the question as to who Sunak would replace him with. Grant Shapps, maybe, close ally of his. Or is he planning on giving Braverman the heave-ho as well, and plans on reappointing Shapps to the Foreign Office? Maybe. Maybe he'll bring Liz Truss back to the Foreign Office for a laugh. Because is there anyone really credible that Sunak could appoint to the role? What do you think? But there we are. Those are my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments below. Hope you found the video interesting. If you did, please click the like button. And if you'd like to support the channel further, the join button for memberships. And until next time, I'll see you later.